Move approval.
Yes, need approval on it.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Now, one other thing I should have said just before now, and I apologize. DEO is very strict about conflict of interest, and so they like to see in your record, your minutes, that each of you have declared that you do not have a conflict of interest with any of these applicants. So,
I declare
I declare I don't.
I declare.
I declare.
okay, so,
no conflict of interest.
We need
Okay.
to sign or?
no, just have that in the minutes, please, that for these four homeowner applicants, there are no board conflicts of interest.
Oh, no problem.
And none of the homeowners have said that they have a conflict, including Commissioner Parrish, who's not here today, but this just gets it on the record.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Can you go back to that insurance requirement? Does the grant require insurance?
No, sir. It's a policy decision. And this is the first time in all my years of doing housing that I have hit a brick wall about homeowners just not being able to. In the past, even the very low income, they've had, like children who could pay for their policy for them or some way to work around that. But it's just not working here.
I guess some of that insurance will be higher than these chicks.
Yeah.
But I've always been told to be insurance poor, and I believe in being insurance poor. And I hope in good fortune that everything I got insured to the hilt, and including my body. But, I mean, you gotta have good insurance nowadays. If you don't,
I know.
and I have to say, I have a good insurance company, so.
And I do recommend to people, I mean, if there's any way, but some of these people are getting $700 and some a month.
But and that's it, the way, we have a lot of retirees here and everything, and, the job being like they are in Franklin County and off and on with the seafood industry and all, you can't expect them to have homeowners insurance and all.
Well, hopefully with the upgraded storm requirements, we could minimize any damage to.
And we'll make sure they're properly elevated also. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Marcia Johnson, you have a report? I don't have a report. All right, Mr. Alan Pierce, you have a report? Yes, short.
Okay, my restore report, inform the board that Commissioner Parrish and I met with the U.S. Corps of Engineers representative on Tuesday, May 10th, to discuss the 2-mile channel. The representatives came out of the Panama City office. They looked at the county-owned spoil site, which is on airport property. While they're here, the spoil site is now heavily forested. In fact, they were very surprised how fast and how big the trees grew, and there's more spoil material inside than they'd expected. However, the spoil site can be reclaimed, and the Corps said they would work up some specs on how to do it and report back to the county. There's a little bit of an obligation by the county to provide a spoil site to them, and the question is, how much do we have to do to provide it to them? So they're working on that, and will get back with us. The Corps representative said they would begin the process to get a dredging permit from the state. He thought the process would not be that complicated because the spoil site has already been permitted. He hoped to be back in contact with the county in the next few weeks. So while he acknowledges that he can get a permit for the dredging, he thought pretty easily, and within the budget that he has in his office, there is no money for the dredging itself. That's something the Congress will have to appropriate at some point in the future. But anyway, we started the process. And I told Mr. Commissioner Parrish all this since he couldn't be here this morning. Number 2, inform the board that Commissioner Sanders obtained a new FEMA contact from me to use on Gulf Shore Boulevard project when she went to the Governor's Hurricane Conference. Apparently, and this is, I hate to say this, after 28 years I didn't know this, but FEMA has a local government outreach office in Atlanta that local governments can use when they need assistance with projects. I've called the outreach agent, and she is working on getting some answers. In fact, I've been in contact with her almost every day, and she apparently does have some influence because other people in FEMA out of Washington now have emailed me this morning. So hopefully we can get something going on this thing. I have asked for a year extension from FEMA for the funding because otherwise it'll expire this June. Mr. Ray Maynard has not yet agreed to any extension across his property for access, but he hasn't also said no yet either, so we hopefully will get all that worked out here in the next few weeks. Inform the board that I will be spending some time in Brevard, North Carolina. Actually, I leave tomorrow In order to continue to wrap up the Gulf Shore Boulevard, the Island View project, and a few other items, I will continue to use my current cell phone and iPad. I will not be at the June 7th meeting, but I'll be back at the June 21st meeting. But we have a couple commissioners, Commissioner Sanders knows some of this because it's in her district, that we're lined up, and I hope we can hit some home runs here pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And really do some good things for the county.
Well, you know, that one contact there with FEMA, you know, that right there pushed that
Right,
project ahead,
right.
way ahead than what you were
Right.
doing, you know, beating your head up
Absolutely.
against the wall.
Right, right.
And, I mean, it just happened to be that the gentleman that gave the class that I took there for public-private partnerships for TS-18 Hurricane Conference, he gave me that name, and so it was a good thing.
It's a name and office I never knew was existing. I mean, I've been doing this stuff for 28 years, and I didn't know there was a field office in Atlanta, Georgia, that helped local
We didn't
governments.
know it.
Yeah.
We didn't know it.
And I don't think any of our neighboring counties knew about it either, because they were all surprised. But so I appreciate that. One last thing, I did talk to the U.S. Treasury yesterday. They have, while I'm the restore coordinator and the board has given me authority to sign documents, they asked that they want to make the board aware that, or I guess I'll say this as a statement, that I also have the authority to bind the county to execute any restore direct component applicant certifications, meaning if, once we get to the project level, that I'll be acting on the board's behalf to certify this. Now, we are so far away from that. I mean, we're 2 years away from that, and, but I need to tell the board that. I have a revised letter. I haven't even time to talk to Mr. Schuer. This came in this morning about it, but the letter we wrote, the Treasury said stands, so long as I just tell the board that as long as you all understand I have the authority to sign these things, and I believe I do, I don't need to do another letter, so I'm just telling you all that I have this authority. And we'll see what happens if I ever have to exercise it. But anyway, so we are slowly getting through Treasury, and apparently we will get our approval for the planning grant, hopefully the 1st of June, where we're looking at now. So,
Mr. Chairman, if I might, wasn't there a need for a contract between Dewberry? You had mentioned to me yesterday, is there some board action that needs to be taken?
I don't think so at this time. We're still, not at this time, I don't have any. Dewberry's, has been bought out, or Progress has been sold to Dewberry, bought out, and so they're looking at some stuff there also.
No,
No, with me, no, not at this point, not at this time. And that's my report. I will say Clay Kennedy's here, and he and I, are after the meeting, will go look at some roads, to try and get things on track with that.
All right,
Mr. Chairman?
appreciate it. Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Chairman? Alan, I want to address you while you're there, but this will also include the county attorney. I know that your time is going to be limited in the office from here to September, and I know it's going to be limited. And I know that you were one of the ones that helped us get that zoning out there at Bungalows by the Bay or the old Martha Ann's or whatever. And I've been thinking about it, and I've had some deliberation on it and thinking about it, and these people are paying anywhere from $175,000, $250,000 for a partnership in this Bungalows by the Bay, which was the only zoning that we've ever had in that category. And I would just like, and I'm gonna make it by motion, I would just like to direct Alan, along with the county attorney, and Mark, the county planner, to come together with a member of the people out there, the association, what they have, and try to see what we can do about helping them to be able to stay in the place for
Okay.
like whatever, 2 days, 2 weeks, whatever. I know you and Mark have said that y'all have some ideas, but you don't know, I want you to sit down and just talk to them and try to work something out,
Okay.
to help them. And I'm gonna make that by motion, to have y'all come together with a member of the association out there by Bungalows by the Bay, and come together and try to do something to help them, to help the owners be able to use that somewhat. Right now, as it is, it's limited to where they cannot use it, and I do know that there's some of them that probably, I don't even know who owns all of it, but I do know that if I paid $175,000, $200,000 for a piece of property, I would like at least to stay a night or two in it. So I'm gonna make that by motion that y'all report back to this board and give us some kind of a recommendation on it.
Okay.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor? All opposed, motion carries.
Okay.
Michael Morone.
Hey, Commissioners, my first 5 items will be about the Armory. It's pretty much closed out. Item number 1, board action to approve a contingency modification number 2 for the Armory renovation project. There was $5,000 included in the original contract for contingencies. We previously used $28,886.16 of that for repairing a termite damage in the floor and some other minor changes. This second modification uses the remaining, the balance of $2,113.84 for various unforeseen costs and renovations.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2 is board action to approve a change order number 3 for $1,500 to repair the exterior door on the northwest side of the Armory, opening out into the yard. One of these doors has significant areas of rotten wood, and that need to be replaced. This will result in a final contract price of $942,851 for the contractor for the Armory.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Which basically closes out the contractor's part. The only other thing is a kitchen, what we'll get to in a second. Item number 3, board action to approve amendment number 7 for the Armory renovation project. This amendment increases Emo Architects Incorporated compensation by $10,868.10. This amendment includes an additional $4,268.10 for architectural fees based on the increase in the construction amount for the drainage work on Avenue D side of the building and the kitchen equipment. It also includes all civil engineering fees of $2,400 for the drainage work and a food service consultant fee of $4,200 for the kitchen equipment.
This ain't the one Smokey was worried about, was
It
it?
was, but we've discussed it.
Did you discuss it with Smokey?
Yes,
Okay.
here's the thing, Commissioner, it's not as, I wish it was easy where we could just get someone to walk in to even where you have professional kitchen equipment and just pick stuff and say, put it in. No, it has to be, I talked to Mark, we need Emo because you need to make sure the equipment we get matches the overall project and the structure of the building and please the state. And it's,
Well, and, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's a historic grant to restore the Armory to its historical value. Okay, you're not gonna see brand-new style windows go in there. You're not gonna see brand-new, style of doors. It has to be on the same take as what, is was in there before we did the renovation. And a lot of people say, well, it's just the same old building. No, it's not the same old building. It may be the same old building, but you got different things in there. But it has to go along with the architecture and everything of the building.
And the kitchen equipment specifically, because we renovated the kitchen as best we could with the money available. It's not a kitchen you're going to prepare food in, and so you need to make sure you buy equipment that meets the, and I'll use the example, there's no hood in there.
Yeah.
So you can't buy, a
It's-
big range and stick it in there because there's no hood.
no,
That's one thing we'd be in violation of code.
it's warming kitchen equipment we have to get.
Well, that's
specific to the
what-
building.
That's what it's all about. But-
Okay.
But that was Commissioner Parrish's concern.
Okay,
Okay.
so moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Speaking of which, board action to advertise for the kitchen equipment for the Armory. Berkshire Johnstone, the Armory renovation contractor, has declined to be involved in the purchase or installation of the kitchen equipment. If the county bids out the equipment, we save the sales tax and the contractor's markup. The equipment will be paid for out of TDC funds. Staff will work in conjunction with Emo Architects on this project.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Inform the board that the legislature funded a $108,000 renovation grant for the Armory earlier this year. This grant will be used to level and reinforce the floor in the main hall, renovate the remaining windows in the building, install an ADA compliant ramp inside the building, and replace the existing front door with one more in keeping with the historical character of the Armory. However, because the governor didn't authorize our rural area of opportunity designation until after the grant application was submitted, the county is responsible for an equal match of $180,000. Is the board going to seek a funding source for the $180,000 match, or decline this grant and then reapply for the same grant that would only require 10% match using our RAO designation? The county has until July 1st to reapply.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
have we contacted our legislative delegation on this?
Commissioner, I think so, but I'll double check and see.
Check on it and see, because we had the designation, but the governor was slow in getting it to authorize
Yeah.
it. And we've always, I mean, we've had stuff like that beforehand, and the legislature's always
Yeah.
tried to help us out.
Marcus tried with the state, and they are like, no. I mean, they just, in his face, they won't give, they won't budge. So I'll try our delegation and see.
It's a rock and a hard place, you don't want to give up.
Contact the governor's office if you have to.
Okay.
Agree, well, it's the governor himself.
And
Really?
Division of excuse me, Mr. Chairman, Division of Historical Resources is who you've been talking to?
Yes, I think that's Marcus been talking to, sir. Yes, sir.
So we have a bird in the hand, I mean, we have a grant that, if we go reapply, we might get funded, but the risk is, I'll be honest, the risk is the next year the legislature doesn't fund any historic preservation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Turn it back $180,000.
And then we get nothing.
And we get nothing. I mean, that's a significant risk that, and I'll just say that, we had a nice presentation from Mr. Boyer this morning about, what a great time they had in the TDC revenues. And I don't know if the TDC has any money to help us on this.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I didn't tell you, I mean, we have.
Stop that, y'all.
If I can make a suggestion, we've got a little bit of time. Let's go up the chain a little bit and see if we can get some relief.
Okay.
I think so, too. And then, applications July 1?
Yes.
Well, let's find out something, and then we should know something by June 7th, at the latest June 21st.
Okay.
The good thing is, well, we estimate the cost of construction at $180,000. In a DOT grant, what happens is, when we have a waiver of DOT things, we design a road, we get to use the DOT money first. In this case, we don't get to use the historic preservation money first. It's 50-50. So if the project really only costs $180,000, our share would only be $90.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
we just split it 50-50. So we really don't have to necessarily come up with a whole $180,000. We just have to come up with, we have to have that set aside, so to speak, but we only have to use whatever the actual construction costs.
Well, I'm like Mr. Watson, I think we need to go up the chain and see what we get, and then if we have to do it, we can
Okay.
obligate it then at that
But
time.
based on the work that it will
Yeah.
run us to 180,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, but the good is that only half that's county money, so
Yeah,
it's 90.
90, yeah. Well, okay.
We need a motion on number 5.
No, Commissioner, I'll just go ahead and contact
Okay.
powers to be and see what they tell us and see what kind of, they're willing to help us with the match issue. Item number 6. Inform the Board that the county is ready to proceed with the replacement of the HVAC unit on the south roof of the courthouse. There is currently $40,000 for this project in this year's budget in courthouse maintenance, and the finance office anticipates having the other half of the money in the 2016-2017 budget. This unit is end of its useful life. Expectancy, board action to sign a contract with Emo Architects to oversee the project and go out for bids.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Inform the board that staff is ready to move forward with the advertising for the bids for the Carabel Beach Park and St. George Island Beach bathroom renovation projects. Considering the summer visitors to both of these county facilities, staff will implement the following timeline for the projects. Bids will be advertised as 2 separate projects during the month of June with a deadline of Friday, July 1st. Bids will be open at your Tuesday, July 5th meeting, then sent to the evaluation committee for review and a recommendation. The board will receive a recommendation to award the project at your Tuesday, July 19th meeting. Contractors receiving the award will be given 90 days to complete the project with an August 15th start date and include a $100 per day penalty for failure to complete the project within the allotted time. The only consideration I had after I wrote this, and I thought about it in talking to Mark, I was saying August 15th. Do you guys want me to wait till after Labor Day to start the project? Do you think that it's about 2 weeks between the 15th and Labor Day? Think there are that many visitors?
I have quite a few on Labor Day.
So I could start it after Labor Day, the Monday after Labor Day, and use that as the,
Yeah.
or Tuesday after Labor Day.
Yeah, because Labor Day is a busy weekend.
Discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think you need to do it after the tourists slow down, because like Labor Day, gonna be a lot of people, and people, they just not gonna be able to work while all the people going in and out.
Okay.
I think the vacation rental houses on the island, after school gets started in late August, but I agree, I think Labor Day's fine.
So right after Labor Day?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll just change that on the timeline. Item 8, at the May 5th regular meeting, the board scheduled workshops on June 7th with the Sheriff's Department staff to discuss a private inmate medical provider and with representatives from Tallahassee Memorial to discuss future management of Williams Memorial. The supervisor of election has scheduled a canvassing board meeting for June 7th at 2 p.m., which will require the attendance of Commissioner Sanders and perhaps Attorney Schuler. Board action to reschedule both workshops.
You want to do it on the 17th, the following meeting?
Should be
21st.
21st.
21st?
If you guys are fine with that.
I'm fine with
Need a
y'all.
motion?
Yeah, we don't have nothing until the 28th, when we have to get that.
Yeah, the 28th of the conference, so
Yeah.
the 21st will be
I
fine.
would say the 21st. I'll make a motion that we reschedule the workshops to the 21st of June in the afternoon at 1:30.
Okay, and this all is pending that Mr. Cooper can get Mr. Mark O'Brien here on that day. That's on their schedule.
Yeah.
And if we need to change dates, just let us know.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
Board action to adopt a resolution proclaiming May as Boating Safety Month in Franklin County. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary made this request. He did this last year.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor? Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
Finally, I need board action to allow the Franklin County SHIP program to go over the $25,000 rehab limit for the Betty Prince project. Towards the final phase of the project, the contractor discovered issues with the floor structure. The total will not exceed $26,658.50.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
That's my report today.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I had a question.
Yes, sir.
Any update on the shooting range? I know they've come before and meaning,
Not for a while. He hasn't come into my, this is the one further out from Appalach. No, nothing yet. I could give him a call when I see him. I mean, I'll give him a call and ask him for an update.
Okay.
Have it for you the
About the
next meeting.
police or the
Yeah, Chase.
Chase?
Richards.
Yeah, Richards.
I know there's a word of the county when I did move some dirt around for what was requested, but I don't know if Chase.
I would like to have a resolution made up for this week and recognize that this week is EMS week, emergency medical services week. And thank everyone with the, I meant to do that with Mr. Cooper, and then but I forgot, with the ambulance service, first responders, dispatchers and all, and do that. And it's also National Police Week also.
Yep.
Second.
Recognize that.
You put that, you motion?
Yes,
Need a
sir.
motion on that?
Second.
Made a
Okay.
motion on that.
All right, motion second, all in favor?
aye?
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Is that it? That's it. Thank you,
Okay.
Michael. Mr. Schuler, you have a report?
Well, I have board action for your consideration this morning on a resolution increasing your gas tax or a resolution of your intent to adopt an ordinance increasing your gas tax from 5 cents a gallon to 6 cents a gallon. But you also do not have a full board here this morning. Your statutory deadline for the adoption of this resolution of intent is June the 10th. So does the board want to move forward this morning, or do you want to table this and bring it back up at your June 7th meeting, where hopefully you will have a full board?
Let's do it, the 7th, will Smokey be able to vote?
Yes, sir.
I have a question. A public there'll be a public hearing about it? What's the procedure?
Yes, sir. The procedure is by June the 10th, since there are no, and there never has been an interlocal agreement between the county and the two cities to divide up the gas tax, then the division is made based on a statutory formula. And given the lack of the interlocal, you have to adopt this resolution of intent by June the 10th of this year. And then that will be given to the Department of Revenue, and I will probably send a courtesy copy to the two cities. There then will be a subsequent public hearing for you to adopt an ordinance by October 1st of this year. And assuming that you adopt the ordinance, then that notice must be, and the ordinance must be given to Department of Revenue by October the 1st, and the additional penny would go into effect on January 1st of 2017. So the adoption of this notice of intent, you're not adopting anything other than giving a resolution notifying the public that you want to increase the tax by 1 penny. You're not actually adopting the ordinance until you have a public hearing.
the cities would then get their share of that increase. So the cities are getting a share already of the 5 cents, and now they'll get a share of the 6 cents.
Correct.
Don't that'll make us eligible for more money too?
That'll give us more money, yes, sir, about $50,000 a year. The key thing is, it makes us eligible for a third pot of DOT money that we're not currently eligible for. So that gives us access to more state money.
Now, the 50,000, that would be a gross number divided among the county and the two cities.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes. So we get like 27,000, one city gets 10, the other one gets 3 or something like that.
Question?
Yes, sir.
I understand one of the reasons that this is a good idea is that we can leverage more grants. Do you have an idea of what we're talking about?
Well, there's this one other grant program, and Commissioner Sanders may remember the name of it, but I can't quite. We have SCRAP, and there's another one. that-
County Incentive Grant Program.
Yeah,
that
the
is
CIG.
different, but it's scrap.
Give me a
Your-
scrap. One of them we have
Your
never been
millage rate,
eligible for.
your millage rate has to be 8 mils, and gas tax has to be 6 cents.
Yes.
And that allows us to apply for grants
Yes.
and do more
Do that.
road work.
Yes.
Do that.
yeah.
We do Scott and the CIPG, we
right.
do that, but in
Scrap
order to
will
do that, you got to scrap, and that puts a lot of money in. If you remember, they added the extra 25 million to it, and it puts a lot of money in there to small counties that we would be able to access if the gas tax, am I for it? I can't tell you, but, you know.
And at one point I looked, so I don't want to say this with certainty, but we are probably maybe we're either one or one of the few counties that does not have the full 6 cents, because everybody recognizes the ability to leverage is valuable in local governments, and so most everybody's going to
Yeah.
that 6 cents.
So the surrounding counties are already at the,
Yes, I'm sure the surrounding counties are. I can't tell you every county in the state of Florida.
Some of them are more than.
Yeah, in fact, so the 6 cents is the basic local option gas tax. There is additional cents local governments can also apply, and those have a slightly different version. But the local option gas tax, the full implementation is 6 cents, and then you can go beyond that by having a different kind of tax, which we're not talking about or recommending at all. But we need to get that basic 6 cents in order to access this money, which is the benefit of the community. And the state and legislature's putting it out there, we're not able to get to it.
a follow-up question. On these sales taxes, do we have any idea what portion is paid by tourists?
Not off the top of my head. I mean,
These, in the Tallahassee, it's 25%. It's paid by tourists.
I would think here that it's larger, because the sales tax applies to rental units, which is probably the majority of the tax. I mean, I don't know, but
Yeah.
rental units, restaurants, I mean, I would think that the percentage paid by tourists is going to be higher.
Is that all you have, Mr. Schuler?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have public comments.
Can I
Oh,
do
okay,
something before
okay.
you do it? Commissioners' comments? I forgot to add something in here. Last week when I was at the hurricane conference, I met with a Mr. Hood, and he is with the Department of Economic Opportunity. He gave me his, presentation that he was giving out there, and he said that there is a, short-term recovery program that they have just instituted, the DEO, and this helps small businesses like your small seafood workers and stuff like that. It has to run through Career Source or something like this. I'm gonna give each of y'all a copy, and you can have it, and then I'm gonna give a copy of it to, there's two of them right there. And, give it one to the clerk for the thing, and then one for Michael too. I want to, ask staff to contact, the gentleman, Taylor Hood, on the back of the paper, you'll see it, Michael, and see how we can get the process started. And if you need to, call Kim Bodine to get into it, because this is something with the oyster industry facing what they are. It may help them supplement some of their income. He said something about they hold the first week back or something like that, but you have to have the employer's participation in it. And I said, well, hey, these people are self-employed, how does that work? And they said it works through the Career Source. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna make that in form of a motion that we ask Michael to get all the information and put it to the appropriate channels to get a program started, through Career Source.
Second.
Have a motion second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
See, that's the advantage you learn when you go to these conferences and stuff. If you don't participate.
And you know me, Mr. Noah, I try to find out everything I can to help the
Yeah.
people of Franklin County, because this is something, you know, it may not be a biggie to a lot of people, but it does help somebody.
Yeah.
And this is what you know, this is what I get a paycheck for.
That's what it'll help somebody.
That's what I get a paycheck for.
It'll help
So,
somebody.
anything I can do to help the people of Franklin County, as long as I live, I will do that, because we're some of the best people in the world here. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to report to the board. We had the 10th anniversary of Rock by the Sea this weekend on St. George Island. It was a sellout crowd. We had people, visitors from 28 states and 2 foreign countries. And we were real pleased with it.
Is all commissioners' comment? Public comment? Jenny? Come up and your name for the record.
All right. My name is Virginia Fordham Poole. Good morning, y'all. I live on Washington Street in East Point, and I've just rented this lot that I live on from A.J. Taylor, who owns both lots there. There's I need a power meter put in my power pole. I need inspection from planning and zoning, which they cannot give me because it is a travel trailer. This travel trailer has been there for numerous years. It is hooked up to water and sewer. The lady that was leasing both lots has passed away, and I'm feeding off of her. Her grandson is living where she was living. I'm feeding off of his electrical right now, and I need my own independent light bill.
Commissioners, I would recommend that y'all, we don't have enough information right now, I think, for you to make a decision. We do have ordinances on the books that prohibit basically the limited amount that I'm hearing here. So my recommendation is that y'all table this and direct, myself and staff to work on this, look into it, and see if there's a way to help within the law, then we help her. If we can't, then I don't know what to do. But I think we need more information before we can act on it this morning.
There have been, 5 campers removed off of this property. The only remaining residences on there is the one I live in, which is on a separate lot than the double wide.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we have Ms. Jenny get with Mr. Schuler and try to see what can be done.
Second?
I have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All
Yes.
opposed? Motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Any more public comments? Any more public comments? Meeting adjourned.